PR Connections Radio presents.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Crypto and Cash Show. My name is Uncle Dan Everett. My partner, Brett Jenny, is out doing a real estate transaction right now. So those of you that are able to join us, you get me. And you know what? I've been doing this for quite a while now, and I'm used to just disseminating information to the public. That's what the show is all about. It's about learning and education. By the way, that'll give me a good chance to have my disclaimer is that the Crypto and Cash Show is strictly for education and entertainment purposes. We are in no way trying to guide you or provide you, information to just go ahead and do crypto trades. We think that you should do your own due diligence anytime and make your own decisions, not based on what we're talking about today. But I'm going to switch it up a little bit today anyway. Since Brett is not here, I'm going to give you just a little general information. Bitcoin is going up, Bitcoin goes down, but it's still up there. I mean, it's if you had a lot of Bitcoin right now, I know someone that bought Bitcoin when it was 30 cents. He bought 3,000 of those. And guess what? He still has them. He's in a total different part of the country. But you know how much money that is? You do the math. I don't know, even at 50,000 a coin. It's just amazing. Absolutely amazing how much that thing is worth. So again, he's got it locked up securely where no one can ever get to it. I mean, except for him and his family. I don't really know who can get to it, but I know he's did his due diligence. I heard of a guy that had hundreds of millions in his crypto wallet, and he was broken into, and he had the codes in 6 or 7 different places across the country, or portions of the code. So they were unable to retrieve it. So again, yeah, man, great for them. I wish I had, hey, just give me a couple million right now. I'm good. I'll take that. So again, the crypto markets, I just read an article today about Ethereum. And what it was saying was that Ethereum, which is around, I'm going to say 2,500 to 3,000 range. I didn't look today. But Ethereum is, they're expected that to increase 3,800% over the next year or two. 3,800%. So, you do the math, you do your due diligence, you find out what you think it's going to do. And if it's something you might want to dibble and dabble in, that's up to you. If not, that's up to you as well. I'm considering doing some dibbling and dabbling because you know what? The crypto market in general, you guys don't understand. Maybe some of you are starting to understand, but majority of you don't. Crypto is going to a place where it's basically they're trying to make it the rails where it's basically tied to our everyday transactions when the dollar is done. So that being the case, you go to a lot of sporting events and do things these days, and a lot of times they don't take cash. That's all planned. It really is. It's all planned by the government. They don't want you using dollars. So again, if you're not up to par on what's happening in crypto, you just think it's one of those things. It's not going anywhere. Let me tell you why I know it's not going anywhere. Do you know what the biggest investment firm in the world is? Hedge fund investment, BlackRock. If they're involved with Bitcoin and the crypto market, that means green light, everybody, because they probably own most of America. They're one of the companies that's been buying up all the single family homes and using it as an investment where now the regular people cannot afford it. Well, I mean, it's not just them. There are other investment companies that, they operate on greed. And so again, it's just the bottom line for them. People are not a consideration. Well, you should be a consideration. We work our butts off for years so we can do something that can support our kids, our grandkids, our kids that are not here yet. But that's just corporate. It is what it is. I mean that's how they run their businesses, and they're based on bottom line. But with myself, I'll tell you, I don't operate like that. I have a lot of fun. So I'm about to turn this around a little bit because I'm going to talk to you a little bit about R&D tax credits. You guys ever heard of that? Probably not. Let me tell you what R&D tax credits is. R&D tax credit is something that is a permanent tax credit that was established in 1981 when Ronald Reagan was the president. And what it basically does is it rewards companies for their innovation and creativity. And generally, it's in a technical base, which means it has to be technical in some manner. But many of you, hey, I was in a room with 25 business owners and I asked the question. You know what the question was? How many people in this room know the difference between a deduction and the difference between a tax credit? One person raised their hand. Now, these are high level people. I'm serious. These are people that own companies. These are people that are, some of them are very well off people. So I'm going to explain that to you right now so you'll get an understanding. Let's assume that a company made, let's say, 400,000 in gross receipts. Okay, so the company was profitable. Okay, so we're talking about deductions right now, by the way. So let's assume that they had $100,000 in write-offs. So what they did is they take that 100,000 off the top in write-offs, and that reduced their income to $300,000 net. And if you take a effective tax rate of say 25%, well, to start off, the actual rate was like 25%. So basically, that particular company, after the write-offs, it basically saved them about 25,000 in taxes. Now, let's take a tax credit. Totally different animal. Totally has nothing to do with a write-off. What a tax credit does, this comes directly from the government in the form of recapturing taxes that your company is filing. So if you have a company that say, let's use the same number, 400,000, 25% effective tax rate, so that's $100,000. And by the way, I am not an accountant. I am not a CPA. I'm just giving you general information. If you want to find out more about that, they contact your tax advisor, but you can reach out to us because very few tax professionals know how to do R&D tax credits. It's an actual study. But getting back before I know I threw you off. I threw myself off, but that's okay. So let's get back. That's pretty funny. So let's get back to a company that basically owes $100,000 in taxes. And let's say that the CPA firm did an R&D tax credit study. And that study said that your firm is eligible because of its creativity and what it does. It's technical in nature and it helps improve a process that we're going to give you qualify for $250,000 in a tax credit, an R&D tax credit. So guess what? 100,000 of the 250, you owe 100,000 as a company. So 100,000 of that tax credit wipes out the 100,000 that you would have to pay the government. But what happens to that? You just got a $250,000 tax credit. What happens to that 250,000 after the 100,000? So you deduct 100,000, that leaves 150,000. Guess what happens to that 150,000? Your company is going to get a check back for 150,000. If you do the math, 150,000 deducted, or after the $100,000 tax credit to pay your debt that you owe the IRS. And guess what? That's 100,000 that goes in your bank account to be used in any manner a company would like. But it gets even better. Let me tell you why. Because companies are not familiar with this. So going backwards, Did you know you can go back 3 years and claim credits that you didn't claim in the past? So you'd have to, have the taxes amended. So what they do is once they amend the taxes, what will happen? The maximum you can get per year going backwards is 225. Excuse me, 250,000. So let's say this is year 24. So say we went back year 2023, 250,000, 22, 250,000, 21, 250,000. That's 750,000 that, and depending on what you paid in taxes, that would be deducted and the balance would be sent back to you as a company. But I mean, that's a lot of money. It's like 1.25 million in tax credits that your company is able to take advantage of. Wouldn't it be nice if you knew about that? Do you know, like, there are yogurt companies that actually qualify for that, and their manufacturing plants for what they do to mix the flavors? Do you know that breweries qualify for this? I mean, did you know that engineering firms, anybody in software development, AI, digital, all of those are new creative processes, and all we need is to do a study. And best of all, the company that I work with, the CPA company, they specialize in helping the smaller business owners. They'll do the big ones as well, don't get me wrong, but they specialize in the companies that have, say, 5 employees, to maybe 10,000, could be 20,000. But guess what? The amount of money that they're going to save them can be massive. So that being the case, if you're not familiar with this, you need to reach out, because it's just a process of me asking you questions. I do the pre-qualifications. Then I turn it over to the licensed CPA company, and they do what they do as a licensed CPA firm. So this is something that all of you need to know about, because you may be eligible and you don't know it. I think the numbers are something around 70 to 75% of companies in America could be eligible for that. So if that is that's you, and you're not quite sure, I'm telling you, any type of innovative, creative new process that you do within your company could qualify you. And what does that mean? That means that you could be leaving a lot of money on the table. Wouldn't it be something if you can recover over $1 million? I know they're doing a company right now where they are they do research in the field of autism, and their recovery is going to be about $6 million of R&D tax credits. So that's why, this is not something to play around with. This is something that could be quite substantial. There are companies out there where the CEOs live on the R&D tax credits, and they pay everything else to make the company go round and round, and pay the employee's salary, and things like that. So that's what I basically do. I retired and moved to Las Vegas over a couple years ago, and I couldn't figure out what I wanted to do. I didn't want to go back into financial services. So what do? I happen to run across the tax credit industry. So I basically do 4 different types of tax credits. I do the R&D. I do one that is healthcare related, which is a preventative program that not only provides the employees with zero out-of-pocket costs, it provides them with a ton of benefits. When I say benefits, I mean benefits. I'm talking when you go to the doctor now, you pull out this card and you now have no copay. That's all the employees. Also, it has an AI scan. That AI scan is going to scan your face one time, and then it's going to be continuously monitoring to make sure if something were very serious were to happen to you, you would know. It would give you an alert. But also what it does, it's providing you with options for you to get a better health. And that's the whole thing, a better health score. So it has a scoring system in there. So it could be, weight loss. Do you have high blood pressure? Do you have diabetes? Do you want to improve in, cholesterol in any of these areas? Well, this is going to provide you tips on what you need to do. And you can actually improve your score, because the AI is going to give you an actual score in their system. And once you improve on that score, I mean, you're getting healthier. And that's the whole point. It's preventative health care. So, and again, you save money. And guess what? The employer saves money too. They'll save $500 per employee per year. On top of that, guess what? They're going to lower their health insurance on average 20 to 25%, because now when the employees go to do a claim, normally every time you go to the doctor, that's a claim against your insurance. Now they're using the Vital 110 card, and now you don't have a claim against your insurance. What does that do? It brings down the employer's rates, because probably in the 50 percentile, because everybody's using this because they don't want to do a copay, right? I know I would. So wouldn't you? So this program is absolutely awesome. And then let me tell you why. Because there is zero out-of-pocket costs for the employee, but more importantly, the employer there's zero out-of-pocket costs for the employer. So what are they going to? They're going to save thousands of dollars on what they normally would pay in taxes. They're also going to get their health insurance premiums lower, their workman comp insurance lower. Oh, did I mention that each employee is going to get a life insurance policy that's included, nothing out of their pocket? That's going to be anywhere from $10,000 to $150,000 with Mass Mutual. Yes, it gets better. So, this is information that the general public doesn't know about. And if you are a business owner, you don't know about it either, because 95% of business owners don't know this program actually exists. But let me tell you what, you're like, hey, that's generally for companies that have 10 W-2 employees who are full-time to make at least $25,000 a year. So, but guess what? Got something for those of you that are 1099, right? If you're self-employed, what about you? We're always like, well, what about us? Well, let me tell you, there are two things that you have available. You have the self-employed tax credit. So those of you that were able to make money during COVID, you may have some money coming back on the table. Or you also can get access to all the benefits in the Vital 110. It's a different program. There's no AI scan, but you get the rest of the benefits. And that costs you $49 to $69 a month, depending on how many of those services that you want. Isn't that better, having that where you can go see a doctor? The two things that, especially on the $69 plan, that's included. When you go to a doctor, what happens? What do they do when you leave the office? I'll tell you what they do. They start writing up a prescription for you. Then the second thing is they're going to give you a form or they're going to send it in to take a test to see how healthy you are. I'm talking about blood tests, any type of blood work, anything saying this particular program, Quest Diagnostics, is part of the program. So you're not going to have any cost for the prescriptions. You're not going to have any cost for the Quest. And also, it's preventative care. Hey, you ever got charged for a what do you call that? I'm having a senior moment where you check through your colon cancer and all that type. I can't even remember the name. Boy, I tell you, that's okay though. Colonoscopy. I got it. Ta-da. Anyway, that's covered. Doesn't cost you anything. So hopefully these things are something that you can either use as an individual or something you can use as a company. Either way, you're going to save a ton of money, because health insurance is out of control, the cost. And so again, if you have health insurance, this migrates with the Vital 110 migrates with the health insurance. It's zero out-of-pocket cost. So it's not like it's competing with health insurance. It just fits like a glove right on top of it. So that being said, my partner's not here today. It looks like I'm about to wind this show on. I do have another meeting in like 8 minutes. Very important meeting, because I'm going to do a presentation about these tax credits, the different ones to an organization. So I wanted to thank all of you for jumping in, listening to the Crypto and Cash show. You only even know my partner Brett Jenny is out there chasing it. Like I talked all the time about grinding, and if you don't swing the bat, you're never going to get a hit. Sometimes you might get a home run. So I'm always swinging the bat. So if you're an entrepreneur or you're a big company, whatever, You always want to swing that bat so you guys may hit that home run, which means profits, money in your bank account. This is Uncle Dan. My company is Uncle Dan Consulting. You can reach me at uncledanconsulting.com, or you can hit me directly at uncledanconsulting.com. You can do that, or if you want to just reach out and call me, 888-902-5905. You can get me there, and I actually it'll reroute you, and I'll probably end up picking up the phone depending on what time of the day it is. So, hey, I want to appreciate again for everybody joining us. Thank you very much. This is Uncle Dan Everest. This is the end of the show. Everybody enjoy a really blessed week.
PR Connections Radio thanks you for watching this podcast. Check out more episodes of this show and our others at prconnectionsradio.com.